Hi, kids. How are you today? Well, I'm glad that we get to be here for another story. And this story is all about the wonderful things that God does. In fact, that's actually our memory verse. Pretty close. Our memory verse says, "Tell about the wonderful things God has done." That's from Psalm 105, verse 2. Can you say it with me? Tell about the wonderful things God has done. Good job. What wonderful things has God done in your life? Oh, God does wonderful things. Our story this time is about something that could be scary, a crashing ship, and even some soldiers. Pastor Paul is in our story, and so is his friend Dr. Luke, and they are friends of Jesus. This story is called Paul and the Shipwreck. Well, Pastor Paul was busy telling people about God. Everywhere he went, he talked about Jesus, his best friend, and all the things Jesus could do. But sometimes the government and the people in charge, the leaders, said, "No, we do not want to hear more about Jesus. No talking about Jesus." And Pastor Paul would sometimes get in trouble because he did not stop talking about Jesus, even when the government and the leaders said, "No, no, no." Well, in this part of Paul's story, he was with his friend Dr. Luke, and they had to go with the soldiers on a big ship to go talk to the emperor. That's the king of all a huge country. And the emperor was going to hear about Jesus because Pastor Paul was going to tell him. The emperor wanted to decide, should Pastor Paul and other friends of Jesus talk about him or not? So the soldiers took Pastor Paul to a big ship, and on the ship the captain was saying, "Get ready to go, we're setting sail." He was telling the sailors how to work and how to get ready to go. But God had a message for the captain, and Pastor Paul was going to bring that message. Pastor Paul said to the captain, "Captain, it's not safe today. We have to wait until tomorrow." See, he came to talk to the captain. God says, "Stay here. There is a big storm. Don't go sailing today." The captain looked at the blue sky. "I don't see a storm. No storm. Who are you to tell me what to do? I don't know your God." The captain did not want to listen. So the captain kept telling his workers what to do. He said, "We must go to Rome. We're leaving now. Set the sails. Take up the anchor. Let's go." Pastor Paul and Dr. Luke sat down on the boat. They prayed to God to keep them safe because God told them a storm was coming. Well, the storm came. The winds were strong. The water was rough. The rain was hard, and the lightning was bright. So the thunder was loud. Oh, water came into the boat. The boat rocked big, back and forth, back and forth. The captain and the sailors got worried and scared. Will our boat crash? Will our boat stay safe? Will our boat get full of water and sink? Everybody on board the ship was scared, except Pastor Paul and Dr. Luke, because they knew that God does wonderful things. And God had told the captain about this storm, so God had a plan. Pastor Paul and Dr. Luke kneeled down right in the middle of the boat. They prayed to God, "Dear God, help us. Dear God, show these men what wonderful things you can do." And right in the middle of the storm, God told Pastor Paul, I'm sending my angels to keep you safe. Wow. We can see the angels in the picture, can't we? Now, the angels were a secret, though. The men could not see the angels. Only God told Pastor Paul about the angels. So Pastor Paul and Dr. Luke felt better right away because they knew God's angels were there, but they could not see God's angels. They had to believe what he said. God gave Pastor Paul an idea. Tell the men what to do to be safe. So Pastor Paul and Dr. Luke got bread that they had, bread that was on the ship, and they said, listen, everyone, God's angels are here. They will take care of us and keep us safe. But you need to eat bread. Let's be strong. This ship will crash. This ship will hit the rocks by the islands. It will get broken. But God told me we will be safe. Everyone will be safe. Eat bread. Come, let's get strong. So Pastor Paul got bread. Dr. Luke got bread. They ate their bread. They shared the bread with all the men. The men ate and felt better. But pretty soon, exactly what Pastor Paul said would happen, happened. Crash! There was a big crash, and the boat hit the rocks. It was close to an island. That was good. The men fell off the ship. The men jumped off the ship. The men started swimming. They held on to whatever was floating in the water, and they swam. Kick, kick, kick. Swim, swim, swim. They pushed through the heavy water and the rain in toward the shore. And as Pastor Paul and Dr. Luke swam, they said, thank you, God, for giving us a warning. We feel strong because we ate bread. One by one, the men made it up onto the shore, out of the water, onto the land where they could build a fire and get warm. The rain started to go away. The clouds started to break up. The men were going to be okay. Let's count. Let's count. Pastor Paul said all of us will be okay. The captain and his men started counting. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They counted and counted. Everyone was there. Everyone was safe. Tell us, Pastor Paul, they said. Tell us more about what your God does. He did something wonderful today. We're all safe. What else does your God do? Boys and girls, this is just what God wanted. He wanted Pastor Paul and Dr. Luke to be able to tell all the men about the wonderful things God can do for us, the wonderful things that he does because he loves us. Pastor Paul and Dr. Luke were able to share God's love with all of those men. Today, you and me, we can share God's love too. We can tell the wonderful things that God has done for us and our families. We can share the stories from the Bible that God has done wonderful things. We can tell those to our friends and our neighbors and our family to help share God's love. That's what he wants us to do. Will you help me do that? Will you tell somebody about God's wonderful love and the wonderful things he's done? Good. Thank you for helping me with this story. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I'll see you next time, okay? Bye-bye.